Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Tanner. I'm a real estate agent, investor, and house hacker here in Colorado Springs. And this video is going to be from our recent real estate investor meetup, which is held locally. So if you want to come and check it out in person, please do so. It's a great way to network with people. But this one is going to be all about construction. We are having some contractors that have done projects for me and other people that we know throughout the community are going to come out, and they're going to be giving us a great talk about what they're seeing, what trends are going on, how they operate their business for fix and flips and doing rehabs. And then there's going to be a great Q&A afterwards as well. So make sure you check that out because they're going to answer a ton of questions. In real estate, first impressions can make or break a deal. Whether you're listing a home for sale or marketing an investment property, having high quality photos are key at grabbing attention. If you want to stand out in the competitive Colorado Springs market, having high quality photos is essential. And Wayne over at Hommati excels at getting the best possible photos for your property. He is based right here in Colorado Springs and specializes in capturing properties in the best light. If you're ready to take your property photos to the next level, make sure to contact Wayne over at Hommati and mention you heard about him from Tanner at Red & Joy Real Estate to get 20% off your next shoot. Remember, great photos can make the difference between a quick sale and a stale listing. So make sure to contact Wayne over at Hommati today. Don't forget, guys, we meet the second and fourth Thursday every single month at our office. So make sure to send me a message or reply down in the comments if you're curious about learning more about coming to our real estate meetups. They are a great way for networking. So without further ado, let's get over to the video. So give it up for Oscar and George.
Cool. Hello. Let me see here. My name's George. We do our company's called PDA Property Services. Why I'm a little bit is I've been in real estate and construction for like 9 years now here in town only, and we've been kind of doing more kind of investment, kind of niche contracting, investment ourselves a little bit, kind of dabble a little bit in that, and then kind of short long-term rentals as well. But this is our link to our Instagram, and why I wanted to put this up here is because it has projects and stuff that we've done that I'll kind of explain throughout the slide if you want to see them on there. But it has projects and a couple things that we've done so far. So recently too. So kind of wanted to put that on there for a second. But the things that we really focused on investment properties is kind of flips, like I said, rehab and hold in short term. On flips, what we've done is kind of work with other investors like yourselves, kind of identify a property. Usually Tanner or Renjoy does more on the short-term side, but kind of give you a number on what it could cost, what you should do, a little bit of expertise on where to put the money on the flips and where not to, because it really does matter if you're not doing a full complete job, and it's very hard if you don't have a new build to kind of do every single thing on a house. So that's kind of where we kind of specialize, where we kind of come in and we're like, hey, well, we think we should do, and what I typically say is, bathrooms, paint, flooring, kitchen is the initial thing that you want to put the money in, and then, kind of go from there as far as finishes and stuff like that. So that's what we've been doing for quite a while, and it's worked throughout these several markets, since 2015. Yeah, kind of strategizing and kind of pivoting the way you should with the flips. Rehab and hold. A lot of Renjoy's people, they do that. They buy a house, they rehab it, and then they hold it and they rent it out whichever way. I've seen them rent it out just normal monthly, midterm, which is they do usually furnish midterm rentals a couple months at a time, or short term. They'll do obviously Airbnb, VRBO, and all that. And the way we've kind of notice that works is a lot of investors, a lot of houses that they bring in, we kind of, let's say it's a split level, we'll kind of do a kitchenette downstairs and then do a separate entrance, and they convert one house into two units, or whichever way, it just really depends on the property. But we've gotten really good at kind of identifying what you could do with certain areas, how you can split things up and then kind of rent it out. And then we're seeing with Miller here, that he's adding rooms and renting stuff per a room, and then we've kind of looked at that as well, where to add different rooms, and kind of doing it all as far as an investor mind, where you're not you're doing it as cost effective as possible. You're not moving too many walls. You're not I would say you're not moving too much utilities as far as plumbing and HVAC, just making it work for the property. And there's certain layouts that do work better than others, and that's kind of what we've gotten good at over the years, with getting those ready. So, any questions on this so far? I'll just ask for questions every slide.
I have a question.
Sure.
For like a garage conversion, what's like the main things you look for that are the most challenging to move or create in the garage?
Yeah, so the first things that we look at with, let's say you're getting a standard two car just like this. We've done just one just like this where we turned a two car just like this into a livable unit, a 2 bedroom, 1 bath apartment, and they did the glass walls as well, the glass doors as well, where you can open it and enjoy it. And there's a few pictures on there for it, but the main thing we look for is utilities, which is where the water's coming in, and sewer lines, and then electrical. Those are the main things we look at. Basically, MEP, mechanical, electrical, plumbing is what we look at. How we can get heat, how we can get water, and how we can get sewage out of the place to make it work. That's those are the main things we look at. And when we look at a house or a project or whatever that is, we look initially what the possibility is more than what we can do right there. I mean, we just talk to the customer what's possible. Yeah.
Is it the same thing when you put an ADU in the back? Like very similar issues?
ADUs are actually a little bit better because you're starting from scratch. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're starting from scratch, so you can tap in utilities typically from the street if it's there. If there's that, I mean, usually it's a house with alley access, so you're bringing in the utilities from the street or from the front property. What's hard with garage conversions is that the city needs to basically approve that to give you an enumeration, which is an address, and be able to tap in utilities and get you a permit. That's what's challenging with the garage conversions. Right now, the city's being really lenient because they're trying to, in our experience, and they've said it, even with R1 properties, which is single family, they're allowing us to basically convert garages and spaces into livable units because they're trying to add density into the city. They're kind of expanding a lot out, and they've been, very lenient on, hey, well, let's get, let's add ADUs and apartments into properties that there's a lot of properties in town that have really big lots, but a small house on it all over town. So in these certain areas, so they're really being lenient on, hey, we can add a property here, and then add an address. So they're focusing a lot on density, which is pretty good, because a lot of those things before they were not approved, and you couldn't get an address on it. So, yeah.
For every rehab that would you need to get a permit?
No, it just depends on the customer. We do both. I think that's where we're a little unique. We'll tell you straight up if we think permits are necessary for anything new or garage conversion. You're going to have to do it if you want an address to it. Then you want to tap in the electrical and all that the right way. But certain projects, no. I mean, we just do stuff. I mean, it just depends. But yeah, if it's cosmetic, a lot of things like if they have I mean, we will tell you right there. It just depends per property, and we'll have the conversation with permits and no permits, because obviously everybody knows permits cost more, it takes longer, and it's a bigger headache. So all that really plays into what you're trying to do as far as like speed. If you're trying to rent it, if you have time, it all depends. Yeah, yeah. Anything else? Oh, good. Okay, so these are a couple of recent projects that we've done, and you can kind of type in the addresses if you'd like. This is a house and cottage that we just did, so we did a new cottage in the back. This is a standard flip that we did, new build. So built from the foundation up, new utilities, new everything. And this is this is a regular flip, so just kind of a house that's been remodeled and sold. But these are very recent. These two are on the market, this one's under contract. So the reason I put these up here is so if you'd like, you can look it up on Zillow or wherever you have and really see kind of what that looks like, I guess, or what the work looks like, and quality, style, and all those things. Because what we've noticed so far is on style is a house, people are walking in now and it looks like a flip, it kind of looks like that, where it has all the basics things like the Lowe's vanity, the white little Lowe's vanity. It has the same flooring, has the gray walls, like all that, and it's kind of deterring people in my experience right now. So you need to really put some effort into these things now, and really think about it and do something unique for the property to sell. And I understand a lot of you. I don't know if you guys are flippers or not or whatever that is, but all of it comes down to basically desirability to buy it or live in it or rent it out. So anyway. Okay, so another thing that we've done for people for Renjoy or other people is just traditional remodel work. Um, we kind of conform it to what the customer wants, but like I said earlier, the main things on these houses, what we've typically seen what works is bathrooms, kitchen, painting, flooring is what gets you the best bang for your buck on remodel work, and kind of getting, basically getting the most out of your money with the houses. So traditional remodels is another big thing that we do, and that goes from doing one bathroom to doing a full remodel of walls with plans, adding an ADU and a garage conversion kind of thing. We've done it from that to A to Z, I guess. Any questions on that? On remodels? Yep.
Kind of similar. Tile and laminate, is it worth it? I know tile is more expensive, but it's also more durable.
Mhm.
Like, what do you think is more better bang for your buck? And I know it's just because, like, aesthetically, it's more pleasing.
On the floor?
Yeah, let's say in a rental. Yeah, rental, tile, laminate.
I would say, I mean, let's say you're doing like a general remodel. If you're already doing LVP on the main level, it's better, or on any level, it's better to just to bring it into the bathroom and save that, because tile is more expensive. And I mean, it is nicer and everything like that, but it does the grout kind of does go out and they get loose sometimes. So it's not as durable, I would say. LVP is very, very durable. The luxury vinyl plank it's waterproof. I really am a fan of it because it's waterproof, it's resistant, it's scratch resistant. It's just very good if you take care of it. Yeah, and it's the best cost. It's about half, huh? On houses. So yeah. It just depends on your strategy, I would say myself. So if you're going to keep it for a long time and you really don't want to worry about the exterior, stucco is really your best bang for your buck. It's kind of the same thing with LVP and tile, but it costs twice the amount. So I mean, it just depends on your strategy. A lot of flips that we do, we do siding, and a lot we've done a new build. We do new build cottages with siding. It just costs a lot less, and it still looks good. So it just really depends on what you want to do with the house.
You also mentioned the area as well, right? So
Oh yeah.
we do some work down south, and we kind of try to lean towards stucco just
Yeah.
because we're a little afraid of maybe hail damage here soon or at any point really. But those are just properties that we think that we're going to hold maybe and not just get rid of here soon. So
yeah.
I just answer and add to that. It just depends on what your strategy is.
Yeah, it depends. It really depends, man. Yeah.
But it's definitely something to consider.
And on the area, certain areas, most of the houses are stuccoed, and I mean, sometimes you have to do it. It just depends, because every other house is stuccoed, and you're going to do siding on yours. I mean, it's really not going to compare on the sale. So it really depends. Yep.
What about for LVP or carpet on stairs?
Okay, so this is my opinion. If you're going to do a rental house, LVP is the best. But in basements here in Colorado, if you have a basement, carpet is it's less cost, and it's not cold on people's feet. People really don't like LVP on the basement sides when it's in the winter. It just really doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel homey, is what I've heard. I prefer carpet myself in the basements, and then in the bedrooms. So what we usually do on some of these addresses, you can see we'll do. Oh shoot, let me see. Oh, here's one. This is one of Renjoy guys. Um, but yeah, they did LVP on the whole floor. This is a remodel that we did. They'll do LVP on the whole floor and then carpet their bedrooms, because it's just more comfortable, or they like the feel on their feet, whatever that is. As far as on the stairs, it's very expensive to do LVP on the stairs. I don't care who it is. It's about $150 to $200 a stair to do the stringers and to do the bull nose and then do the flooring. That's how much it's costing right now. So what I've done in one of them, I kind of did in the recent one, I kind of did a little bit of a hybrid. we carpeted the actual step, but then the riser, the front part, we did flooring, and it looks pretty good. So we kind of did both. And then honestly, going down to basements, we usually do only carpet because it's already going to have carpet. It really, honestly, a lot of these things depend on what you're going to do with the house. Because
steps are immediately at like a back door, and there's immediately steps right there. Would you still say carpet, or?
the thing that I look at is traffic. So if it's going to have high traffic, I would do flooring, and if it's small amount of stairs. But if it's if it's low traffic, and then I mean you're pretty good with the amount of stairs, carpet's best. Yeah. That's just my opinion. But carpet is way cheaper than actually LVP stairs. In a nutshell. Anything else? We're good. So this is one remodel that we did on that. Okay. So this is the main thing that I wanted to talk about that we're really getting into ourselves, and we're really seeing that people are talking about or really wanting to do, is ADUs and garage conversions and then the new builds. To start with the garage conversions, like I said, the city's really kind of pushing density, and they're approving a lot of garage conversions that they wouldn't in the past, just because they're trying to add addresses to the density of the city. So the way those work is, you've got to go through a process with the city and apply for all these things and apply for permits and then get a drawing and all these things, which we do. But the main thing that we're seeing is the value add on them is pretty good, is what we've seen. It's just you have a property that's there already, and you can get 2 units. And right now, buying is pretty good. It hasn't been like this in a while, which is what I've seen. Buying hasn't been this good, where you can get a good deal and you can get something that makes sense, and then actually do something like this, which is convert the garage or convert whatever it is into livable space, and then add an address to it. It just increases a lot of value. The challenges with that is basically usually they're one size, they're 2-car, basically the size of this room, and you can only do so much with them. So you can't really get like a 3-bedroom, 2-bath with the living room. You can't really get all that, but you can really what Renjoy does very well is kind of laying it out for you pretty well, and being able to be like, hey, well, we're going to do this, especially for short term, and lay it out the right way so it could be nice. And they're very good at kind of choosing design. With the designers that they work with are very good at kind of maximizing space, is what we've seen. They're making things seem pretty well. So it adds a lot of value. It really does on the garage conversions. Yeah.
When you do a garage conversion, does it still look like a garage from the outside? And does that like affect the resale? Like, oh, it has a garage, and then turns out there's nowhere like to park your car.
No, because I would say no in my experience, because we look at these things before, and so does the city. So you need to have adequate parking and setbacks for it. As far as the look of it, we get rid of, let's say for here, it's a 2-car. We basically put a header at the top and then just do windows. It'd look like a regular unit. Um, and you can reframe it, you can and do all that. Obviously you can't really change the size of it, or the ceiling heights, but we worked with all those things where the ceiling heights, we kind of pitch them as high as we can, and kind of do that. But it has to really conform. That's a caveat to all this with the garage conversion. It has to conform according to the city, and it has to have the right setbacks, has to be the right size, and it has to have adequate parking. So either alley access and all that. Yep.
If there's a garage already there, have the correct setbacks,
Mhm.
the alley or whatever,
Mhm.
you still turn it into a unit. Is that structure that's already
Yes.
set?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, and that's kind of what I mean. So it needs to have the right, and what I mean by setbacks is the building needs to be a certain amount of feet away from the alley, or from wherever it is, from the street, and from the sides, and from the front house if it has a front house. It needs to be a certain distance from all that. It can't be right up against it. Typically, the setbacks from the sides are 5 feet, so it needs to be 5 feet from your fences, and then 35 feet in from the alley if you're doing it from an alley. Typically, they are. So I hope I answered your question. Oh, and then on ADUs. So ADUs is just kind of scrapping anything that's there. Let's say you do have a property that has a vacant back part of the lot. Building these ADUs has caused a lot of value add. We've done it ourselves with. Let me see if I have any pictures. Okay, so yeah, this is a garage conversion that we did for a guy at Renjoy, his dad, and this was a two car just like this, like I was saying, and we kind of made it into a full unit. These are pictures don't appreciate it, but this is on this side, and then it has 2 bedrooms and then a bathroom. And it has high ceilings. You put in lighting, you put in the whole kitchen. Then this part where we strategically put the kitchen was against the house, so you can pull all the plumbing and the sewage and all that uh, affordably, and kind of use that space. So over here, where you see this door here, that's a bathroom, and everything's against that wall still. Yeah.
So is it better if you want to have like an ADU on the property? Is it better if there's like, I don't know, like a smaller shed to build off of, or is it better if it's a clean open backyard? And also, how much did adding this ADU cost?
Yeah. So I would say it's better just to start on a blank sheet, because if you have anything small like a shed, I really don't think it could work for a whole unit. And it also has to have the proper foundation. So if the city comes by and then you have a shed sitting on, let's say, some piers that somebody put together, that kind of won't work. You need to put a footer around it or a foundation. So it needs to be set to the property and then be real property. Because if it's personal property like a mobile home or a big shed, they won't do enumeration, which means they won't do an address to it. And you can't pull utilities. So it really has to depend on the size and then how it's set on the ground. I'd prefer it for it to be a clean slate, and then you start from there. Because you can do your own layout, do a more modern layout. You can do more modern finishes. You can kind of lay it out however you want. So it's a lot more, in my experience. And this is the one that we just did here. So this was the old one, and this is the new one. We scrapped it. We were going to rehab this and redo it, but the layout was so terrible. It was just a straight shelves like an alley, and we were like, how are we gonna lay this out? It doesn't even have the width, and you're gonna have a hall. It didn't really work out to get a 2 bedroom in there, so we decided to scrap this whole thing and then do the new one. So that's kind of the decision process there, but I would say they're all a little different. Yeah. What was your second question? Oh, how much did it cost?
Yeah, how much
This one, it was about, I would say, how much do you think it was? I think they spent around 80 grand. 80 grand, something like that. Yeah. And that's basically everything. So we would, frame everything up. What you see, this was a completely open garage like you see right now. Same exact size, huh? Yep. Yeah, it has this. It has a laundry room over here, and it has a bathroom, and it has a bedroom. And yeah, this store is now a glass one like this, and they have a exterior patio, and they have coffee outside and all that. So is that good? Any other questions?
One more.
Yeah.
Is there a particular type of zoning that you need for garage conversions to be able to do that and like a detached ADU?
R2.
Need to be
R2, yeah, it's duplex, so you can add your own address. But like I said, the city right now, if everything conforms and you have the right size lot, which is above 5,000 to 7,500 square feet, you can actually get another unit approved, and even if it's R1. It really depends on the property, and I hate to say that for everything, but it does. Yeah, there's no way around it. You have to look at everything individually, because some stuff they'll say yes, some stuff they'll say no, it doesn't work. Yeah.
When I was doing my garage conversions on a single family lot, it had to be attached. Is that still true? Like, I was able to do it because they're attached garages, but single family zoning, you can only convert attached structures. You can't have a second detached.
Yeah, so that's what they're actually approving now. Yeah, that's separate. Yeah.
Detached on a single family.
Yes, but it's very conditional to the property, because it has to meet all the requirements, which is a bunch of them. But to me, in my opinion, a lot of people have tried it. Some have worked, some haven't. But that's what I mean by the city being a little bit more lenient.
What would you budget for an attached 2-car garage conversion into a kitchenette, 1 bath, studio.
With enumeration or no?
No, just a different, just a
Oh,
garage conversion.
and that's how we did this one. So if it's attached and all these things work, utilities has a huge deal because let's say the utilities are on one side and you want to do the kitchen on the other. For example, we'd have to dig up everything and then run all the sewer lines and run the water lines depending where they're coming from. So all that really depends. But I would say, I mean, in a regular 2 car, you're anywhere from 60 to 70 grand to converting it into a 2. Yeah. That's it. Good. All right. So yeah, that's the ADU side, the garage conversion. I really do think it kind of brings a lot of value to the property. Short term, this is just kind of what we've seen with short-term rentals, which is we worked a ton with Renjoy and a lot of short-term rental guys here in town. And this is kind of what just our opinion or my opinion of what we've seen work with people and the benefits of it, I would say, just to kind of answer any questions with that. Well, basically, what they've done is turn a single-family home into 2. And what they're doing is usually splitting a house in half, doing a kitchenette downstairs, a kitchenette, which is not a full range, and then basically adding another entrance or blocking off the actual entrance downstairs. What we have usually is a house that has a back entrance, and then you come into the back entrance and it goes down to the basement, and we'll just wall that off. And then you just go downstairs and then you have your own separate unit. We've done it how many times with a lot of people. And they're pretty happy, but just this is a very particular situation where it's, you know, a little bit younger guys or younger gals that are single, that are not really have a big family that can take that. But it's worked out really well for them. You know, they have 2 units with 1 house. The house hacking thing is basically moving into it yourself, you know, fixing it up and then renting it out, and then per the room, or, you know, kind of figuring it out per property on that. Many rooms or 1 room, or they rent out the basement, and basically kind of house hack means that you're living in the property and you're renting it at the same time, and it's offsetting your mortgage or your payment or something like that. You're getting rental income from something that's already there. So we've seen that work a lot with guys, and that's kind of how I started my stuff. I bought a house a long time ago and moved into it, fixed it up myself, and then rented it out, moved out, and did the same thing. You know, that's kind of how I started. It was house hacking. So it's a really effective strategy for somebody who really wants to get going, and you don't have all this money to basically be pouring into houses, and kind of getting the value out of them. Yeah. Oh, yeah. What we've seen is we have a rental ourselves with Renjoy, and what we've seen is that you know, this city has a lot of tourism. A lot of people come in here and, you know, kind of wanting to stay here. Who knows why? Manitou, or what is it? Manitou, Pikes Peak, Garden of the God, all that stuff. They come here, you know, and it's really significant because we go other places, or I've been other places, and we're from somewhere else, and it's not like that. For example, I have a house in Boise, Idaho myself, and I talk to people over there doing Airbnbs and doing all that, and they have nowhere near the occupancy that people do here on their properties. It's just because it's such a desirable place to come hike, or it's just very versatile, I assume. I don't know why, but it is a significant difference. And then the rentals, you know, they really do. Yeah.
What would you say is the main difference between being a short-term rental property and just regular long-term rental property? Some of the finishes and
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, so from flip, you know, obviously, like I said, you have to really do a little more right now because the market's not hot as far as the seller's market. But to answer your question on the rental, in my opinion, what we've seen a lot is, you know, like I said, flooring and paint is the things that, you know, are going to be really bang for your buck. It's 90% of what you see when you walk in the house anyway. And that's kind of what we've seen with people. They really bathrooms and kitchen aren't really something a tenant is looking for, or layout, anything like that. You know, a lot of tenants just are looking for a nice, clean place to move into that's in a good location. That's rental. And then short-term rental, it has a lot of different. So location is key right now, is what I would say. You know, you have to have a nice, unique property, and the rehab is much more extensive. You need features to it. You need the finishes to be very nice. You need a hot tub in the back, so you need to add a 220 to the hot tub in the back. You need patio space, and then what we've seen is that just everything's just a little bit more upgraded and a little bit more a little nicer because what you're trying. Yeah, I think you're like a little more in the hospitality business there, so you really are trying to draw people in with, you know, what it looks like and what the views are, and obviously to retain the people is what I'm assuming with Airbnbs, is them coming back or recommending it or not getting bad reviews for everything to be very very nice and functional. So everything needs to work in Airbnbs. Everything needs to be up to date. Everything needs to be on the spot. On a regular rental, I would say, to go back, everything needs to work, be functional, but it needs to be just clean and then uh, smell kind of fresh. So that's why paint and flooring works really well. Did that answer your question, buddy?
Yeah, well, it was, like, what are the most cost-effective ways to, make that properties like appeal for that buyer? Like, what are renovations that cost a lot but you don't really see huge return on
Okay.
investment?
Yeah.
Like your recommendations.
Yeah. Well, like I said earlier, bathrooms, kitchen, flooring, and paint are the main things that I would say I would work on. What usually doesn't really pay back are extra features like accent walls that they do on Airbnbs, really upgraded floors. Yeah, buddy. Um, Upgraded floors, like very high end stuff that seems to be unnecessary. Uh, Higher end trim and finishes. Really high end cabinets don't really work for that. You need to be in a certain budget. Usually with the flip, you're looking at a budget, and you need to stay within that because you can go way high and you can spend all the money you want on a flip, and it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to pay you back. So you need to be very smart to where you spend your money and do all those things. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see what else. We're good? Nothing else? All right. Okay. So this is just our experience on how flips go for customers and for ourselves. Okay. Typically, 7 or 9 week turnaround is what we do. We'll ask you for that amount of time, and that's what we shoot for to get it done from start to finish. And it really depends on the extent of the work. But here on residential flips, what I mean is we're doing, all these things listed here. We're doing interior paint, flooring, bathrooms, landscaping it, basically a roof. We're doing, vanities, everything basically. Cosmetic rehab is what we're doing. Exterior paint and whatever that needs to make it as best as possible. Like I said, with flips, people tend to have a budget. So we need to really fit the best things that are in there with that. And then the cool thing I think with us, what we do is people call us all the time, like, hey, I have a flip or I have this property I want to turn into a single family home or whatever, and we can go look at it and really give you good opinions. I think on being cost effective and walking it through with you, so you have some kind of idea what it'll cost, what it'll look like, and all these things before you actually close. So having something under contract would be, kind of the best case scenario to call us to kind of look at something in that stage. You have it under contract, we can give you a good budget or whatever that is a good idea and a range at least. And we can go further, we can get you a full quote. So I think we're really good with this because we just done it so many times. Personally, we flipped homes and then for other people, and it just works. So yeah.
After having done a whole bunch of these here in the area, are there any sort of red flags that you would say when walking a property, considering it as to acquire it for flips, whether it's like in Springs or Pueblo or something like that? Are there any red flags that you're just like, look out for that because initially you might not think about it, but as you get into it, you're like, that was a big problem.
Absolutely, yeah. We've ran into that quite a bit. And this is why I kind of myself, I'm kind of liking a little bit more new build stuff, or newer built too, or build new, because yeah, we've done that where we come into a house and we open up we're gonna do a room right here, and we open up the wall and it's a chimney, and you're just like, oh my God, it's like a 1902 chimney that's just in the wall, and you're just like, oh my goodness, it's gonna take forever to demo this, or you got to rearrange your plan or whatever that is. I would say older homes, honestly, it's the truth. Honestly, older homes, I would say foundation issues. Obviously, everybody knows that. We don't run away from those because it just really depends on the actual problem. But foundation issues in certain areas is what I would say as far as areas, what I would look at. There's prominent areas in town that everybody knows that there's structural issues there. Termites, there's areas for termites that, typically are there. But what I would say is older homes in general, I would say 50s and older is where you're running into a lot of things that have been worked on in the past that are hidden, or they just haven't been uncovered. I would say somewhere around there. Yeah, we really go. I mean, for example, let me see. Is this done? Oh, shit. Let me see. Like for example, this address here, the front house, which is the house and cottage. The front house is a 1902 house. The house was built in 1902, so it's got it's a little bit like this, and it's got the layout's a little weird, but people like it, But we did run into all those problems. We ran into things not really working and all that. So it really took quite a bit. And honestly, I mean, we even make these mistakes because we can't see it. Yeah. For example, there was no master, so we had to make a master kind of and kind of make it work, but it's not optimal, to be honest. It's really not optimal.
If you're going into those kind of scenarios where it's an older home and it might have those scenarios, you put in a larger contingency amount for those
exactly.
Like instead of 10%.
Exactly.
Like what
yes.
do you do
yeah, 15. I would agree with 15.
Gotcha.
We typically do 10, but 15 is where what I would do for a house like that for sure. There's just so many unknowns that you would have to do a full in-depth breaking walls inspection, which nobody does, to figure out all these things to get your budget right. That's a risk with flips or any kind of remodel actually. You run into problems, just older homes. And then I really want to specify on certain areas. Certain areas really, 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 it's notorious that the foundation, the soils are crap, and there's a lot of rock rimming. Obviously, we looked at one today. Other parts of town? Saddle Rock area, I would say Rock Rimmon area. And there's an area down in Fountain, off of let's say Mesa Ridge, south of Mesa Ridge, right there. Chamberlain, B Street, down there by Fort Carson, a little north of Fort Carson, B Street. That has major structural. I would say those 4 areas. Oh yeah, that too. Yep, up here. OCC area is okay here, but the problem is the soils are not very good. So if you're gonna build anything, for example, when we built that cottage, they had us do 15 helical piers, those are big screws that go on the ground on the foundation that you really typically don't need. But since the soil test is so bad, you need to put those in by the engineer. So you need to be really careful where you're doing deals as far as the area, because soils are a big thing here in Colorado in general. Even some areas where I've gone, I'm like, yeah, there's not typically structural here, and the house is falling apart. Today we looked at one. It was built 10 years ago, $1 million house. It's literally falling. The guy built it 10 years ago. It's got major problems. So, got to be real careful with that. We do, yeah. We do, yeah, because we've just experienced it enough, and we do the same thing that maybe somebody else would do. What I would recommend is get an engineer out there that we know, and have them look at it. And the engineer will give you a letter, and he'll tell you what to do, and that'll tell you the cost. Typically, it's helical piers or brackets to fix. So those 2 things typically. I think that's it. Let me see the last slide. Yeah, here's our contact info, our email. We have an Instagram and the cell phone number. If you'd like to kind of see anything or have us look at anything or an opinion, whatever that is, we're investor friendly kind of contractors, so we think that way, our minds that way. We do it ourselves as well. So it kind of, really works with certain folks that don't really have that experience. And yeah, we love our job too, so it's good. Uh, Other than that, yeah.
How much of the work do you guys do versus like subcontract?
I would say about 70-30. It really depends on what we're doing. We have a lot of them that are in-house, but let's say we're doing an ADU and we have to, kind of pull permits and do all that stuff. We have to get the MEP, which is the mechanical, electrical, plumbing, permitted. So we have subs that we bring in to do that have the proper licenses to do that. I have a regular construction license, a GC license, but for mechanical, electrical, plumbing, they need their own separate one. So we bring that in. Other than that, most things we do. Our crews do. Yep. Yeah. Absolutely. Full flip, we coordinate it. We go on flips. We really think that speed is a very good thing on flips, without compromising your quality. But your speed has to be there. You can't take 3 months to do a flip, to do the construction. It needs to be, especially if it's if it's cosmetic, it needs to be done quick, because that's where you make money. So, or we make money as well. So I would say, we trade that out, and then we just kind of, that's what I think we're very good at ourselves. That's where we, shine, is we coordinate all these things. We put it together to be done as fast as possible with the right quality, and then, kind of deliver a good product. That's what I would say. But 70-30, somewhere around there. Yeah.
Any months out of the year that you just won't do flips or start a flip project because when it comes time to sell, it's just not.
Months out of the year?
What time of year would you not want to start?
I wouldn't want to start right now. Because you're gonna be 2 months into the flip. Honestly, yeah, that's what it is. But what I would say, I've done flips in like through the whole year. People still do. I mean, they say that we slow down, or people slow down, but we really, throughout the years, we haven't. It sometimes even gotten faster in the winter. I mean, it just depends. But optimally, yeah, you want to buy something in January, December, and then have it list, and then kind of sell it in the summer. Everybody wants to do that, but that's just not how it works sometimes, because sometimes you have to buy now. So how are you going to do that and then wait for me 5 months? They're not going to wait typically on a flip.
Are you finding your own leads and working that way, or are you going to wholesalers?
No, I don't really like wholesalers, but I mean, we've gotten a few deals from wholesalers, but typically it's pocket listings, so agents that we know around town. I've been doing them for like 9 years now at this point, and we've done quite a bit of them. So known people that know us in town, they'll call me like, "Hey, I have this flip," or JV is a lot of JV, but we don't really do that as much. But JV is somebody, I would say, like whoever here says, "Hey, dude, I got this flip. Do you want to partner on it? You guys do the rehab, we do the purchase, and then we split it at sale." We do that. We've done that a lot, but with like maybe 2-3 guys in town. That was it. So I say they come out from all the ways, and then off the MLS, we've gotten a few of them too, just off the market, just in town, just kind of recognizing certain things that that it needs, and knowing our budget and sticking to our budget. Yeah, that's kind of how we get them.
Do any direct marketing?
No marketing for anything. I mean, this is as far as we go for marketing with construction. So no marketing, none of that. We just do a lot of word of mouth, and kind of a lot of relationship-based business. I believe that we do good business, so a lot of it works that way. Yeah. Yeah, buddy.
What makes a client easy to work with? And also, I know a lot of contractors don't like working with investors in general. That's just like what I've heard. So, like, what makes you guys want to do that, I guess?
I would say what makes a client easy to work with us is to kind of comprehend what's going on a little bit, and know, get the knowledge. As like I said, we're investor friendly. So if it's an investor, we really know what you guys are thinking, because we do it ourselves too. And we're really acknowledging budget, and we really acknowledge, that you don't need certain things, that you do need certain things. What makes a client easy to work with is that, like, we kind of tell you this is our opinion, and then we kind of just work off of that. And if you have your own things, that's fine. But that's kind of what it does. Just kind of a little bit of knowledge, And if you don't have that, I would say a little bit of, kind of trust in us over time, I would say, because I can't meet you today and you trust me now. But trust over time, building something, looking at things, and just constant contact. I think those are the things. And then, what was the second question?
Oh, it was why don't contractors want to work with?
Oh, that's not our experience. I mean, we want to work with investors mainly. I really don't like working with homeowners that are just, you know, we will do that and we've done it. We like remodel work, but mainly it's investors that we work with. We just like that side of it. We do it ourselves and we understand it the best, so it's a niche of ours. Yeah.
Cool.
Another follow-up question, just out of curiosity, what's your main way to finance these? Like,
Mine?
Yeah, how are you guys going about financing, or how do you recommend?
Private money. Yeah, I have a couple guys in town that we talk to, that we built a relationship over time, and they have money, so they lend it to me. Yeah. So just relationship-based money. Hard money I've used in the past, and I still will on certain deals. And then partnering. So like I said, we do JV deals with certain people, not everybody, but we do JV deals where they bring us the deal and they fund the deal, and then we fund the rehab and we get it done, and then we split the deal at the end. So that's kind of how that gets funded, and then we use our money to kind of fix it up. Those two ways. Does that answer your question?
What kind of return are you giving private money? What kind of return do you offer?
Oh, so on private money, we've paid up to 12 and 2, 10 and 2, and then 10 and 0. Those three. It just depends who I'm talking to as far as our relationship guys, or our my money guy. It just depends on the deal, how much he likes it. He's a local guy, so I'm like, hey, I got a deal, and then he comes and meets me there. And he's a guy that's here, and it's just one guy. So that's kind of how that works. Yeah.
How do you structure clients paying? How much is upfront? How much is
Oh, good question. It depends on the size of the project mainly. So if it's a project, I would say it's around $5,000 to $10,000. Like a simple bathroom, will just half down, half upon completion. If it's a full remodel or a flip or anything like that, we usually ask for 50% down to kind of get everything done, and then at the shell stage, which is at the vanilla shell, where we're painting the inside, that's where we ask for another 25, and then 25 at completion. Yep.
If I'm doing my own remodel, I don't know if this is like
Mm-hmm.
flooring first, or should I get the appliances and then flooring, like cabinets? Like, 'cause I don't want to mess up the flooring. Like,
I would say appliances are last typically on everything.
okay.
Yeah. So yeah, it kind of goes. I would say it just I don't know where you're at, but flooring before appliances for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I don't know if you're doing trim work or anything like that. That's kind of where it gets tricky, where you're gonna paint. If you're gonna paint, do trim, and then do floors, that sequence there, it really depends on what you're doing and what you have. So optimally, you want to paint the walls first, paint your trim, put it on, put the floor, paint your trim. I'm sorry, put the flooring on, and then do your trim on top of that, so you can cover all the edges, and then appliances are last, cabinets after that. Tile work is your last one too, and carpet. Yep.
I have a tag-on question to that. Because I had a contractor that did like a little bit of this, a little bit of this, a little bit of this, and never really got anything done.
Yeah.
Is there like a general overall kind of order of operations that you typically go in? I know you mentioned just now, flooring walls, paint, but like if you're doing a medium rehab, are there certain, just from a high level overview, I do this, and I do this, and I do this,
Yeah.
and it's repeatable?
No, I wouldn't say it's repeatable because everybody's got a different scope of work. But if let's say we were gutting a house, I could tell you that if you're gutting it and starting from fresh. But it really depends on that because they're gonna. I mean, let's say you're leaving bathrooms out, for example. But to answer your question, the way we do things is very like that. That's kind of where we're good. We know we have to start a demo, and we really can't. Some other contractors or whatever that is, we really stick to our schedule. We do a demo, and then we do, MEP rough-ins, and then we do sheetrock, and then we do texture. After we do texture, we paint, and then we do floors, and then we do trim, and then it comes your finishes, which is your tile, your hardware, and your backsplash, and then your kitchen countertops at the end, and carpet at the very, very end. That's kind of how it goes. Okay. Sorry, it just really depends, man. Yeah. All right. Are we good? All right, good, good.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm
thank
done.
you guys for coming out. We will have the next one in about 2 weeks. I think October 24th is the next one. And we'll have a real estate professional talk, correct? Dan Hillman's chatting, I believe. Something
Oh, yes.
around that, yeah.
Talking about the short-term rental loophole
Yes, that's what it was.
and 1031 exchanges.
Yeah.
Mm.
So if you're interested in that, come out in 2 weeks. We'll send out another email for it. Yes, Millie?
What's your podcast called?
My podcast is called Pile Up Real Estate. If you want to check it out, it's on YouTube and on Spotify as well. And I can text that to you if you don't want to look it up. So, yeah.